This is K1DBC. All stations please stand by. The Denver Radio Club Learning Net starts in 5 minutes.
0TX repeater.
From the employees.
We'd build up this feeling of a small company in which you had personal knowledge of really everything that was going on.
What we've tried to engender is this attitude that it's everybody's business to do a good job. Hopefully we'll all benefit if we do so.
It was just something magic. Designing the products, laying them out, doing the software. And we're all part of the same thing and working together. And, you know, as long as we're working, we take care of each other. And boy, that sure influenced my thinking.
One day the phone rang and Hewlett says, T, we've got this calculator going on at HP Labs. So I went up and talked to Bill. He gave me the market research report that suggested that we shouldn't do it.
At the time, the state-of-the-art was a slide rule. And so to go from slide rule to calculator was a quantum leap in functionality.
The bottom line was, well, Bill, we're sorry. We don't think there's a market for this product. It's very complicated, and it's going to cost $350.
20 times more than a slide rule. And Bill said, I want one of these things.
Bill challenged his engineers to build this thing and make it the size of his shirt pocket.
That was kind of a, oh my God, I don't think we can possibly do that.
But they made a big pretense of making sure that whatever they built would fit into his shirt pocket.
We came up with 4 pages of names for this thing. Captain Billy's Whiz-Bang Machine was one of the names. The Mathed Marble. We had a whole bunch of names, and there was not a winner in here. And we said, well, it's got 35 keys on it, so we'll call it the HP 35.
When I was in college, the HP 35 calculator came out. And, I just drooled seeing that thing.
It was, like the skies parted.
I remember trust the people, give them the tools, hire the best people, get stuff done.
This was what HP did. It trusted people to do the job. And you stepped up. You really stepped up. It scared the hell out of you. Made you into a better person.
I built a large screen oscilloscope that could be used as a computer display. My bosses weren't all that wild about it, but they let me show it to Dave and Bill. And Dave told my boss, when I come back next year, I don't want to see this in the lab. When he came back a year later, the project is in production. He was incensed and said, I thought I said to kill this thing. I said, no, sir, what you said was you didn't want to see it in the lab. It's not, it's in production. The market forecast was for 31 of these things. Over time, we sold 17,000 of them. Most importantly, it was used for you to see Neil Armstrong's foot hit the moon.
The thing was successful, and Dave had the humility to say, and the self-confidence to say, I was wrong.
So I have here a Medal of Defiance in recognition of extraordinary contempt and defiance beyond the normal call of engineering duty. Dave wanted to make a statement that maverickness is expected in a way. So these guys built a process that invited, accepted, and rewarded innovation.
So Dave and Bill were people who just loved and benefited from change. It didn't matter how big HP got. To them, change was something that they always looked at and said, where is the opportunity?
This company, in 60 years, morphed itself 5 times. It was a voltmeter company, and then a microwave company, and then a handheld calculator company.
Good evening and welcome back to the Denver Radio Club Learning Net for January 14th, 2026. It's a great place to learn about ham radio and STEM topics in general. And thankfully, we have plenty of combined experience and expertise. This is Kilo 1 Delta Bravo Charlie. My name is Doron. I'm this evening's net control. Tonight we'll be taking your check-ins, comments, questions, updates, and more. We meet every Wednesday, except the third Wednesday of the month, 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time, on 145.490 and 448.625. Both have a negative offset. You can contact us if you like via email, elmer@w0tx.org, and most social media at Denver Radio Club. We'll also stream and archive some of our nets on youtube.com/Denver Radio Club. This net can be broken at any time for emergency or priority traffic by using the word break. Is there any emergency or priority traffic at this time? All check-ins to the net will be taken in alphabetical groups based on the first letter of the suffix of the operator's call sign. The suffix is the first letter after the number in the call sign. If you can, please try to use I2 phonetics for your call sign and indicate if you have traffic or questions as you check in. If your suffix begins with the letters A through M, alpha through Mike, please check in now.
Kilowatt Delta 0, Charlie Golf Fox, Kenny, and Thornton with traffic tonight.
All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. I'd like to welcome and acknowledge the following check-ins. We had check-in online, KC1YFS. Kevin, really appreciate checking in. And then over the air, we had Kenny, KD0CGF with traffic. Thank you so much for checking in as well. We'll get back to you here in just a bit. Again, if your call suffixes begin with the letters A through M, alpha through Mike, please call now. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. We'll open up the whole alphabet. If your call suffix, we're taking all call signs. All call suffixes A through Z, alpha through Zulu. Please call now.
November 0, Tango Romeo Papa, Jim in Lakewood.
All right, and that time we had N0TRP. Jim, thank you so much for checking in. We just also had a check-in online, KC3 NHE. Really appreciate that. Anyone else, A through Z, alpha through Zulu, let us know your call sign, your name, and if you have any traffic or questions, please call now. All right, might be still a quiet time of the year, but anyone else, though, we're taking all check-ins, A through Z, alpha through Zulu. This is the Denver Radio Club Learning Net, great place to learn about ham radio and STEM topics. If you'd like to check in just for the count, or if you have traffic questions, A through Z, please call now.
0TX repeater.
Okay, nothing heard just at the moment. If there is a lull in the conversation and someone does want to check in, please don't hesitate to do so if you're just listening in. We'll throw it over to Kenny, KD0CGF. The net is yours. Go right ahead.
Good evening, Daron, and good evening to everyone on the net. So, I got two things here I want to share tonight. First one is one of my friends I was talking to tonight by the name of Dexter. He's showed some interest in radio, and he was talking to me about getting his GMRS license, and I was wondering if we can kind of shed a little light on what GRMS is and how it kind of works a little bit over the air. This is KD0CGF.
Excellent. That's great to hear. Yeah, I always appreciate new people coming into the hobby and more interest there. So yeah, GMRS is if you use an HT, a 5-watt HT, it's basically the exact same thing. There are GMRS repeaters as well, and it can be used as simplex. No testing required. Does require a license. Cost of I think $35. You just go and apply online for an FRN number and go through the process of requesting a GMRS license itself, a call sign, and then just a standard HT radio, 5 watts. And it covers up to several family members. So one person can be licensed, and anyone within their family, regardless of age, can use the radio. So yeah, a lot of a great introduction into ham radio. I'm looking at quality2aradios.com at least here on getting a GMRS license. So if you have anything else on that or any other questions, go right ahead.
I do not, but that was a great explanation there. Thank you, Daron. So the second bit of news I have, my folks, today is their anniversary, and they are ham radio operators, K0KKU and N0LHS. They have been married for 43 years today, and I thought that was really cool, and just wanted to share it with everyone. But this is KD0CGF, and I'll turn it back over to the net.
Excellent. Sounds good. Well, congrats to them. Yeah, that is certainly a long time, and that is always lovely to hear. So yeah, that is awesome to hear. Let's see. We had a check-in here online, K0BF. Dustin, really do appreciate that. Anyone else, though? Comments, questions, check-ins? We're really just getting started off here. Talking about GMRS a little bit and how it's probably a good introduction. At least here in Colorado, there's the Front Range GMRS group. And a lot of search and rescue do use it as well and things like that. So there is definitely a good use case for it. And it's a good, easy way to get into to radio operations. So yeah, it's an excellent thing all around. So yeah, great to hear all that. So anyone else? Comments, questions, check-ins? Go right ahead, please. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. We also had a comment online from KC3NHE about how it's taken off. Some GMRS activity in the western Pennsylvania areas, several nets on the various repeaters. So yeah, very similar to our repeater usage. It's very, very similar, and yeah, no tests required, and yeah, it's a good way to get into radio. So yeah, anyone else? Comments, questions, check-ins, anything else on that, or anything else? Please call there. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. I myself have been battling an issue with our website and our web host, and some really poor business decisions. And our web host at the beginning of December changed something, and aren't really taking responsibility for it. And it's taken quite a while for us to get some information from them. But I mean, at this point, unfortunately, they're kind of wiping their hands clean. So if someone does have access issues with our website, can't apologize enough, but we're working to get that eventually resolved. But just do be aware of that. Fortunately, that is still ongoing. Anyone else? Comments, questions, check-ins? Please call now. All right, comment in here from KC1YFS, Kevin mentioning in the Rhode Island area, there's some GMRS operations as well. So yeah, Ocean State GMRS group there. So yeah, very cool stuff. Anyone else though, please go right ahead.
Katie Zero CGF with a random question regarding GMRS.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I haven't followed or kept up with GMRS and all of the rules and everything going on, but I'm curious to know, is there anything relating to GMRS and, say, along the lines of EchoLink, perhaps? Yeah, just involving the computer in GMRS? I don't know if that's within the guidelines or not, but it was just a random thought. Katie Zero, CGF, back to net.
Great question there. Great question there. I know there's been some talk about potentially repeater linking is not allowed with GMRS. I'm not sure about internet connection for EchoLink and how that works through GMRS and what the language is on that. I'll have to dig a little bit here, but that's a good question. Anyone else on that? Maybe any experience with GMRS and EchoLink or internet connected GMRS repeaters? If that's legal, go right ahead. Let's see, I'll have to do a little bit of digging, but looks like GMRS rules don't allow it. EchoLink was designed for ham radio only use. GMRS linked systems were used as an augmented version of All-Star. Yeah, so it looks like potentially it is not something you'll probably see, really, GMRS, EchoLink. Let's see, access policies on the EchoLink page itself. Let's see.
0TX repeater.
At least from EchoLink's point of view, they say stations operating EchoLink only with equipment on amateur radio frequencies, does not permit use of the system with other services such as GMRS, FRS, Mars. But there might be some other language somewhere else as well. So yeah, it looks like it's probably not allowed. All right, so yeah, great question. Yeah, there are limitations with GMRS. It's not as fully open for experimentation. I think the Part 91 or 93 rules or whatever that is, or like I can't remember, but not as open for experimentation as a ham radio license will get you. But yeah, definitely good enough for basic communications. Anyone else though? Comments, questions, check-ins? Go right ahead, please. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. I don't have a whole lot. I've really kind of been focused on our website over the last month, unfortunately. See over on arl.org, some of your basic standard updates, solar updates. Another unfortunate silent key, N6BV. Just some more information. So arl.org/news. Let's see, I know radio is not a visual medium, but I'll try to describe this over on reddit.com/r/amateur radio. Post a couple of days ago of a standard AM broadcast band, a tube regen set that someone has rebuilt. It uses a single 374 vacuum tube. Definitely could have done a neater job, they say, with the wiring. They'll be modifying to take plug-in coils, so they'll be able to tune it using a shortwave. Part of the larger home-built ham setup he's working on. Next project is another tube 6L6 tube CW transmitter. Trying to go for a 1920s, 1930s vibe with his equipment. So, see if I can find his call sign, but it goes by the name of Sad Hours over on Reddit. Visual part missing there. Hard to describe it. Wooden box. Looks like the front of a safe on the front of it. Looks like a safe dial. Numbers 0 through 100. And a switch knob to the next of it. And some wires. Very, very basic setup. Looks quite old in its appearance on the inside. Coil inside, as well as another tube, I believe. And a bit of wiring. So poor description from my part, but reddit.com/r/amateur radio. Plenty of time here still. It's just ticked over to 7:48 Mountain Time. Anyone else, though? Comments, questions, check-ins? We have plenty of time here still. Another 30, 40 minutes or so. Anyone else? Please call now. This is K1 DBC Net Control. Anyone else? Comments, questions, check-ins? Right before the net started, I was playing a video called HP Origins, Hewlett-Packard documentary, showing off employee Steve Wozniak of Apple, and also an oscilloscope that was used to display the first moon transmission. I might play a few more minutes of that after the net, but yeah, check that out in your own time. About a 26-minute documentary. Anyone else, though? Let me see some comments, questions here. Let's see. All right, yeah, just confirmation. Since EchoLink requires an amateur radio call sign to register, they'd say it's probably no-go outside of amateur. Let me see, almost 10 GMRS repeaters in someone else's location. Someone also asked, let me see here, it was KC3 NHE was asking what projects people are working on. They're starting to learn to diagnose all American 5 tube sets. Built their first dim bulb tester last week. So yeah, it sounds like an interesting project to work on. So yeah, is anyone working on any projects? Doesn't even have to be ham radio related, but anything electronics maybe someone's working on, or anyone want to share anything, go right ahead.
KD0CGF, I could share a few projects.
Yeah, Kenny, KD0CGF, go right ahead, please.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, So one of the current projects, and here in a minute I can send you the picture, Daron, that I've been working on is a centralized control box for the lights on my car and the radio equipment. And actually, give me a couple minutes on that one, and then I'll get you the picture, and that way I can explain it more in depth. But a few other projects I've been working on is I'm getting ready this year to rebuild my power supply for my radio that I'm currently on, which is an ICOM IC746. And what I'm doing is I built an enclosure out of wood, more so just because of the versatility, and I wanted to set the radio on top of it, and had a slanted plane for all the switches and all the dials. And I just gotta kick my butt in the gear and order the parts, and that I need to finish the housing before I start putting the components into it. In my opinion, it's version 2.0 of the power supply I'm running. But that's one project I have. But let me drop here for a minute. This is KD0CGF.
All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control, just to fill a little bit of time here. Another great resource. A recent person starting to check into our YouTube channel. Really do appreciate that. KC3NHE, if you want to visit his YouTube channel as well. Ham and Cheese 25. He has a power supply video review from about a month ago. I think he mentioned was a pretty good watch. So pretty, let's see, Hangel 30 volt 10 amp variable DC power supply. So another option as well. We'll throw it back over to Kenny, the CGF, if you're ready, or I'll watch my email. Go right ahead.
I just sent you the email on it.
W0TX repeater.
All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. I am checking my email now, see if I can get that. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. Just got that email. Looking at a couple of photos here. Looking at a box of parts here as well. What looks like a cardboard box, and another photo of I think that same enclosure in your vehicle. But yeah, if you want to go ahead on that, go ahead, please.
Okay, so the box with all the components in it. So to the right it says MFJ. That's actually the UHF VHF radio. It's an NX 5000 series radio. And then to the left is a Wayland WECAN or CENTCOM light and siren controller. I do have it programmed where the siren functions are disabled. The only function that is enabled is the air horn and the radio function. But that's going to control the lights that are going to go on this car. Eventually, when I get it, I'm putting a cell phone booster inside this box as well as a power inverter for 12 volts to 110. The only thing I don't know about the power inverter is if it's going to interfere with the radio communications if the power inverter is running. Obviously, the box is still being built. The little yellow controller, let me drop for the repeater. The little yellow box just above the light bar controller or the Wayland controller is a auto ignition off switch. So I'm going to have that wired into the ignition, just an ignition sense. and after 15 minutes of the car being off, it will shut down all power inside that box, so I don't have any, I can't think of the word, so any power just dissipating. So the box is just a metal enclosure I stuck boat carpet on, and I got that out of the recycle bin. And on the front of the box, let me drop for a second. On the front of the box, the little yellow thing is actually a key, and the red light just indicates the 110 volts is on, and next to the red light is the plug for that. But I have it on a keyed function, so that way, you know, if I'm somewhere where I question the vehicle or let someone borrow the vehicle, I can actually just turn it off and not have to worry about, are they going to accidentally push a button and cause mayhem. But other than that, that's been my project that I've been really working on. It's just been a slow-going project, just trying to get all the pieces together and trying to think of what actually would work in a small environment. This is KD0CGF, and I'll turn it back over to the net.
Excellent. Sounds good. This is a K1 DBC Net Control. Yeah, great looking setup. Yeah, it's simple, works. I mean, if it works, it works. That's great. Yeah, looking at the an MFJ 916B duplexer for 1.3 to 225 megahertz and 350 to 540 megahertz. And as well as you mentioned that Wheeling power control device as well. So yeah, very slick looking project here. Yeah, and someone's mentioned in the chat here, KC3NHE's hasn't seen one of those Wheeling controllers in a while, but it's been a minute since they did an emergency vehicle install. So yeah, it sounds like it's a fairly common thing, common kind of automotive practices that you're kind of working around here. So yeah, great looking project. Some good comments from in the chat here. So yeah, very, very cool stuff. So yeah, you can check out the some photos again on youtube.com/Denver Radio Club. I'll see if I can try to forward them over to our groups.io page as well. Groups.io/G/W0TX. Very cool. Anyone else? Very, very cool stuff though. Comments, questions, check-ins, anything else, go right ahead, please.
And apologies, I forgot to add a little bit more to it. This is KD0CGF. So one of the reasons why I chose to put everything in this box, and yes, my OCD, you guys, once it's done, you'll be able to see it, and my OCD will, for wiring management, will just go ballistic. But the idea behind this is, throughout the years, I've installed radios and other equipment in my vehicle, and I'm getting to the point where I'm like, I want to make this simple to where if I get another vehicle, I can just unhook all this, pull the wiring harness out, and just transfer it. And that's where the idea comes from, is just I just wanted it isolated and easy to maneuver. And so no holes, once it's said and done, no holes are going to be drilled into the vehicle at all. The mounting setup I'm looking at is through RAM mounts. And let me drop for a second. That's a whole nother adventure in itself. RAM mounts are very, I like them. They have a universal mounting bracket on a 12-inch pole or an 18-inch pole, whatever you want to get. And you can kind of make them, you can kind of get different attachments to add to it. Now, the emergency light portion of this, I do have a light bar for the vehicle. That I don't I haven't decided if I'm going to actually put it on, because I'm going to take another route and plug a controller through the car's computer that can control all the lights on the vehicle itself. And I should be able to control the lights individually. There is one other part I'm trying to think here. Give me a second. This is KD0CGF. I'm going to drop for a second. I apologize. It's not coming back to me, but there was something else I was going to say about it. But yeah, my brain. Oh yeah, no, that's what I was going to say. So the Wayland controller. So this is what's unique. Daron, can you go back to the image with the inside the box, please? So there's a yellow block. It's probably about 8 inches long. And what's unique about this setup is reading that schematic on top of the Wayland controller. If following to those wires, I have it set up to where when I have the cell phone booster put in, and as well as the power inverter, which is going to be on a relay, but that yellow block that's all numbered, they're all going to connect into that. Any external device or anything external is going to connect into that. And the controller, or the Wayland controller, is going to be able to turn that off and on. I'm just going to use the same circuit as, say, the rotating light function or one of the other functions that's on it, to turn it on, turn it off. And that's kind of how I'm going to wire everything in. And I'm going to have a 6-gauge wire running through to this box for positive, and I'm going to take a negative side and run it to the chassis of the vehicle. I thought about running the negative to the battery, but I'm kind of feeling it might work pretty okay to the chassis, and that's what I'm going to try first. This is KD0CGF, and I'll turn it back over to you, Daron.
Excellent. Well, really do appreciate that. Again, KD0CGF. Kenny, yeah, great looking install. Really do appreciate the thoroughness and explanation of it. And yeah, it's really clean looking project. Very, very cool stuff here. See another mention in the chat here. RAM mounts are rock solid. Lido makes some great mounts as well. Yeah, overall, yeah, great looking project. So yeah, I would love to see some more progress on it as it comes along. So yeah, anyone on that or anything else? I know Kenny also mentioned you had something on a power supply. I can get back to you here in a minute. But anyone else though? Comments, questions, check-ins? If you heard on the repeater, we ticked over. It's 8:04 now p.m. Mountain Time, so 25 or so minutes. Comments, questions, check-ins, go right ahead, please. All right, plenty of time here still. Another 25 or so minutes, as mentioned. Anyone else? Comments, questions, check-ins? Otherwise, we can throw it over to Kenny if you still want to pass any information on your power supply project, or if you have anything else, or anyone else, please go right ahead.
This is KD0CGF. On the power supply project, I don't remember if I had a video up on building the initial power supply. I know I got pictures up on Facebook. But it's just going to be a switch mode power supply, and I am going to probably put in a 5-volt switch mode in there. Real inexpensive. And instead of doing an analog gauge this go around, like, don't get me wrong, I love the analog gauges, but they take up so much room. So I was thinking about going with a couple of digital gauges this time around, but I'm still going to keep the unique industrial light indicators. I'm a sucker for the old school switches, you know. So I will have probably the industrial panel switches. It's just a satisfying click is the reason why I would do that. I haven't fully thought about it, but yeah, I was just trying to build a power supply so the radio can sit on. It's just to free up some room in my ham shack, and maybe add a few other features to it. Let me drop for a second. One of the other ideas that I wanted to do for a project is take the indicator lights you see, like you walk into a shipment center or fulfillment center, you sometimes see poles with like 3 or 4 or even 5 colored lights on it, and take that and mount it to the side of the power supply box, but take a controller that reads the weather data from the weather station. So like when it rains, it'll light up blue, or if there's lightning, it'll start flashing red. Have it every once in a while, maybe change color for the temperature. You know, there's many ideas to do with it, and it's like, do I really need to do it? No. I just want to do it for fun. It just sounds interesting to me. KD0 CGF, back to net.
Excellent, very, very cool stuff there. Yeah, and if you're not aware, Kenny does have a YouTube channel as well. So he has some ham radio related videos up on there. Yeah, very, very cool stuff. This is K1 DBC Net Control. Yeah, that sounds like a really great project. So yeah, let us know how that works out. Let's see. Also in the chat, KC3NHE is mentioning locally they've been working on getting a soldering class together. Best soldering video they've found. Let me see. I don't see a link in there, but I'll try to repost it if I'm missing it here. Very, very cool stuff here. Yeah, soldering. It's always a great practice. What's another? Let's see. Soldering practice kits are always a lot of fun. AliExpress or probably Amazon as well. For $1, $5, $10, you can get a project, a radio, a little oscilloscope, different little bits and bobs. Just so if you're interested in practicing your soldering, there's always kits out there available to practice your soldering. And you can always just go to a thrift store and buy some third-hand electronics and just desolder things yourselves and try things like that. So anyone else, though, comments, questions, check-ins, go right ahead.
That actually brings up an interesting idea, Jerome. I don't know if it'd be something to do sometime for one of the learning nets. What about getting like a basic electronics kit and just kind of putting one together, talking about each component, how it works with one another on a live stream?
Yeah, you know what? I'll talk to the board about that because it's cheap enough to either purchase something for a few people and or just throw out a link. And absolutely, yeah, that would be a great idea of some real life live soldering. And yeah, I'll have to see what we can do on that because that would be a ton of fun. Yeah, either our landing net or something. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Sorry, I got to make sure I have the repeater. And on my YouTube channel, I do apologize. I haven't uploaded in quite some time. Life is life. I do have the POTA radio that I need to rip apart and figure out why. I need to figure out why I'm getting feedback or interference on the digital side plugged into the computer. I think it has to do with some switches, with the switch I have, or it has to do with I have too many components that are trying to pass through the piece of plastic, and putting RF chokes on it, it's not working, and I need to rip it apart and see what I need to do. Yeah, it's let me drop for a second. But, so I just haven't done that yet, and I need to get it up and running because I do want to take it out this year, especially come spring. I do want to get some POTA going again. But it may not be done by FT8 this year either until I resolve that issue. The other thought I had was to redo the entire plastic piece where all the switches and the lights are and just reroute the radio cables without any pass-through from it.
Very, very cool stuff here. So I'm guessing you're talking about the that radio pack that you're building. Someone was asking a question about the radio inside of it. It looks like a Yaesu, probably 891 or something HF. If you can confirm, go right ahead.
Yes, it's an Yaesu FT8 FT891. I keep wanting to say the 8 twice. Yaesu FT8 891. But yes, it's an HF radio with a universal tuner, and then I have a dual band, just a little tiny QYT dual band radio on top. The antenna connects into the back of the case, and I use the super antenna. And that super antenna, it is a super antenna. I've gotten some pretty good results with it. But, yeah, I haven't had the time to really sit down and rip it apart and dive into it. Let me drop for a second. I apologize. I keep saying that because I'm afraid I'm going to hit that 2-minute timer. So the green light indicates battery powered, red light indicates AC power, and the blue light would indicate charging and solar. And that's how I have it set up. It's got an actual power supply, a switch mode in it for 12 volt and 5 volt. I have it set up to run both, so I can just plug it into like a generator in the field if I wanted to, or set it up in a hotel This is KD0 CGF, back to net.
All right, this is K1DBC Net Control, K1DBC Net Control, apologize. KD0 CGF, thank you so much for sharing more information on that. Yeah, it's life is life, certainly, and ham radio always gets the back burner with real world problems, so no worries at all. But yeah, glad to see maybe some progress and maybe some at least more thoughts and changes and updates. So it's always great to see. So yeah, anyone else? Again, VADA Fox. Or KD0CGF over on YouTube. You can check out his video on that. Let's see what a question in the chat here. KC3NHG was asking about something about interface. Is the interface home brew? Oh, it maybe just the entire case itself. Yes, I think if that's what you're asking, yeah, it's I think a Pelican case he's mentioned in the past, and yeah, all DIY on that. If you have anything else on that, go right ahead, Kenny.
Yes, give me a second. So I actually have it sitting here next to me. That's a Pelican case. 1535 is the model number. I chose that size of Pelican case because the idea was to be able to
I'll ask him.
possibly take this with me if I fly, or make it easy to transport. It's also even, this style case has the ability to have a backpack mounted mount, so you can just throw it on your back and hike to the top of a mountain. It was brought to my attention in the beginning about having the battery and some of the equipment in there not being within FAA guidelines, which is completely fine. It doesn't have to go on a plane at all. But it is small enough, it doesn't take up that much room. This is KD0CGF.
All right, I appreciate that. And I think I did misunderstand the question that was being asked. They were asking about the digital interface for or from the FT891 radio. Are you using, is there a built-in interface or a DigiRig or a SignalLink or something like that? Or if you have something further on that, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm running the DigiRig. I go from the radio to the DigiRig out to one of the USB ports on the front on that case, and then goes to the laptop. And I think it's the USB ports on that front that's causing the issue for the interference. That's why I was thinking about just having the cables just lie on top and just kind of hardwired in a way. But that's kind of what I was thinking. This is KD0CGF.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, that would be interesting to hear. And I forget the black things you would put over cables to prevent some interference, but those are always, if I can remember what those are called, always great to use as well. I can't remember, but yeah, the DigiRig, great looking interface here. USB digital digital modes interface kit for the FT891. So supports cat control, USB pass through, audio, push to talk. Very cool setup here. So yeah, anyone else though, go right ahead, please. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. It was mentioned in the chat here, KC3NHE had mentioned that he'll bet it's maybe the USB port as well on the DigiRig. Not the first time they've heard of that happening on it. So, yeah, that would be interesting to see how that pans out. So, very cool stuff. Yeah, thanks for the update. Anyone else? Comments, questions? Another 10 or so minutes here. Plenty of time. But just a quick recap. We talked about so far GMRS. Licensing, introduction into GMRS, some of the legalities surrounding it, some of the differences between ham radio and GMRS. Let's see, some projects that people are working on. Really do appreciate everyone jumping in here. So, yeah, anyone else, though? Comments, questions, check-ins? Please call now.
0TX repeater.
All right, anyone else? Comments, questions, check-ins, anything else for this evening's Learning Net? Please call now. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control for the Denver Radio Club. Anyone else? Comments, questions, check-ins? I can see if I can bring up anything else, though, but we have plenty of time here still. Another 8 or so minutes. Let me know. Please call now. Let's see if you're ever interested in playing around with electronics in a simulation way. Really amazing product provided for free from the company Autodesk, tinkercad.com. So if you're ever interested in simulating what an Arduino or it's mostly Arduino based boards, you can simulate a project and run the simulation, run it as if it were a real thing. So I would highly suggest if anybody's interested in building circuits and breadboarding, certainly get a breadboard, get an Arduino, get physical equipment, but for free. You can always also use Tinkercad. So kind of very similar to I think what I think Kenny, I think a lot of others. This is a really cool product. You can let me see here. Let me see. I have to play around with it again, but I thought you could kind of click around and it would show you all the material and the codes. Let me see here. Schematics and circuits and bill of materials in different electronics and components. I'm not showing it off very well here on the video here, but tinkercad.com. If you're ever interested in electronics simulation, really great tool to check into.
CGF with a comment.
Yeah, Kenny, KD0CGF, go right ahead.
That's actually really cool. Now, I'm going to have to dive into that and take a look. Because interestingly enough, my best friend, his wife, is currently going to school for electrician, to become an electrician. And their son, their oldest son, is currently in school, and apparently he's taking coding, or they're teaching him coding. It's like when I was in high school, it's like they taught us Word and how to write letters professionally. They didn't teach us coding. So I thought that was cool. I'm like, well, I do have an Arduino. So it's like you just reminded me. I do plan to take my homebrew board that has the breadboard and the Arduino on it, and take it over there and kind of help her since she's on the low voltage portion right now and still learning Ohm's law, and help her kind of like put a circuit together, and then have her son do the programming side to make the project work, and just kind of just be there just to guide them through it as they get stuck, just to kind of help them learn, because I did see enthusiasm in their eyes, and last time I was talking about it. So I think getting some hands-on is going to be really good. This is KD0 CGF, back to net.
Excellent. That is lovely to hear. That's so nice to hear that. So yeah, it's more people get involved, and yeah, as even as young as we are, even in our youth, we weren't taught coding, and I think it was just on the cusp, really. Late 90s, early 2000s, getting out of embedded electronics, and our hobbyist communities getting more access to Arduino-based devices. So there is no sticker shock compared to Raspberry Pis. As you may know, Raspberry Pis have increased in cost quite a bit, but Arduinos still run about $10 to $15, and there are hundreds and hundreds of clones, and a really easy way to get into programming, even if you don't have soldering skills. As mentioned, breadboarding, it's easy enough, really, just to plug wires in from one place to the other. And as long as you also have a good understanding of the coding as well, it's really quite simple and really rewarding to get into. So yeah, simulation, again, if you have no electronics in front of you, plenty of options online as well. And KC3NHA had mentioned they probably wouldn't have blown up half the things he did as a kid if they had a simulation, electronic simulator like this. So if even though Arduinos are cheap, if you do fry one, yeah, you can go purchase another one, but it's always good to know if it's actually going to work. Anyone else though? Comments, questions, check-ins. It's just about to tick over to 8:30 here in just a few more minutes, but comments, questions, check-ins, please call now. Other free products, I think I have not used them as well, but from Autodesk as well. Start with designing in 3D. If you can dream it, you can build it. From product models to printable parts, 3D design is the first step in making big ideas real. As we were just talking about, from blinking your first LED to building autonomous robots, they'll show you the ropes, buttons, and breadboards of electronics. Let's see, code blocks, coding, write programs that bring your designs to life. Block-based code makes it easy to create dynamic, parametric, and adaptive design. And lastly, get your designs moving with SimLab. Simulate ideas, materials, and forces. Materials like rubber, steel, and wood affect a shape's mass, friction, and bounciness. And then you see how your designs move with gravity. Building machines, experiments, and analyze. So endless possibilities. So really amazing that Autodesk has put this suite out for free. So yeah, tinkercad.com, and plenty of learning to have on there. All right, 8:29 p.m. Just about to tick over to actually 8:30. I'll throw it out though. Any last minute comments, questions, check-ins? I really do appreciate everyone checking in. As mentioned, a recent silent key, Jonathan KE0SUM. So really sad to hear that as well. And that has been put out to our Sunday night net. And I can't thank everyone for all their condolences and everything. And yeah, that's it is unfortunate to hear, but I can't thank enough everyone for continuing to check into the net and continue to help foster this community, and not just our Denver Radio Club, but ham radio and electronics and STEM learning in general. So can't thank everyone enough. Last minute comments, questions, check-ins, anything else, please call now.
0.
All right. So to wrap things up here, I guess 6 check-ins. Might be some people listening out there. If you ever want to check in just for the count, or if you have any traffic questions, please don't hesitate to do so. But you're more than happy to lurk and just listen on in. And whenever you feel comfortable chiming in, please do not hesitate to do so. As mentioned, we've been having some issues with our website. So if you're not able to reach it, I can't apologize enough. It's been about a month now. We're looking for next steps on what we need to do. Our DNS and host provider is kind of wiping their hands clean of a problem of a incorrect public IP address being distributed for our website. So if you try to reach our website and you see a certificate issue or a DNS issue, we are hopefully getting that resolved pretty quickly here. With that, last minute comments, questions, check-ins, please call now. All right, next week will be our meeting, our club meeting, taking place virtually. Nothing yet posted on our website. I don't think we have anyone scheduled just yet. If someone has something formal or informal, this can be done remotely. So whether you're here in state or out of state, if someone has a presentation, 30 to 45 minutes. Or if you have a video of something recently or something interesting, ham radio related potentially, or electronics related, we're more than happy to play that as well. So if anybody has any suggestions, next week we have 7 days to come up with something. So 6 p.m. Mountain Time, w0tx.org /meet for the Elmers session, and then 7 p.m. for the meeting. More information will be posted on our website. With that, can't thank enough everyone who has checked in. This is K1DBC 7-3, and I will be clear.
Then a computer company, and then an ink company.
The HP way could accommodate so many different business models over decades and decades of time, but they were flexible enough to know that you apply those principles in different ways as conditions require.
You can continuously change as long as your heart's intact, as long as your core values are there. And if you've got the right values, then out of that will constantly emanate that innovation. And that's always been the power of Hewlett-Packard.
It's no exaggeration to say that Bill Hewlett and Dave Packard created Silicon Valley. Big time. And they respected and appreciated other entrepreneurs. Everything I learned about entrepreneurship was taught to me by Dave Packard.
There were many bright people who left HP and founded their own companies, and they carried away the fundamentals of the HP way.
There was an ad run in 1962 that said, you want to be an entrepreneur? Come here first and learn how. And it's like, that's a weird ad. You're encouraging people to go elsewhere. But Bill and Dave's attitude was, that's great. And they seeded this valley with some of the greatest talent you can imagine.
I even turned down starting Apple once. I refused to go to Atari because Hewlett-Packard was my company for life. The morale was so high, I never saw anything like that, just the happiness of everyone working with each other.
A lot of people say that the HP way is anachronistic. It fit in a different world, a simpler world. But in fact, it may be more relevant today. And that's because when your employees are scattered all over the planet, people are working independently, you have to trust your employees more than ever before. And that's what Bill and Dave did. They set the model for it.
All right, thanks everyone for watching. You can check that in your own time. HP Origins documentary over on EEV blog 2, potentially somewhere else though, but documentary from 2006. Everyone, have a good evening.